They wanted to start messing with the cat that I told them not to. This happened about 4 years ago and I still laugh about it to this day. My older cousin had a cat named Tara when she was younger. Tara was a total loose screw and she would bite and scratch anyone who so much looked at her funny. And don't get me started when you dare disturb her sleeping. Never mess with Tara when she's sleeping. Tara only really felt comfortable around my cousin and I. She liked me because I usually helped my cousin feed her because I wanted to know what it was like taking care of a cat as I want my own. Plus I was already close with my cousin. Now here's where it gets good. My aunt and uncle were having a little family gathering and they decided to invite some of their close friends. Among them were their demonic kids Mini Bigfoot, 6, and Mini Yeti, 5. Those two couldn't sit still or shut up for at least 1 second. And the parents just let it all happen. They would use the excuse, they don't know any better. They probably would if you set a boundary or something at least, so while they're downstairs terrorizing the adults and anyone else who was brave and patient enough to be in the same rooms as them, me, my cousin and her friend all just chill upstairs. They both are talking about some stuff with school and all that nonsense that I didn't bother listening to. They both leave the room to go run a few errands and buy some more cat toys as Tara had demolished the previous ones, so now I'm left in the room alone with a little furball that's curled up on the bed having a damn good nap. Then I hear the sounds of rapid footsteps and I didn't need to peek out to see what it was. Both gremlins walk in the room and immediately point out all the drawings on the walls of Nintendo characters. My cousin loves Nintendo. Then little Mini Bigfoot has to point out that there's a fluffy kitty on the bed. They reach over to pet her and I inch their hands away and tell them to not disturb her. For some background, I already had a bad beef with two because when they were at our house Mini Yeti pulled my dog's ears and tail constantly and wouldn't stop. Mini Yeti starts to whine about how much she loves cats and she wants to cuddle the itty-bitty kitty. I told her that Tara hates when her sleep is disturbed and they still wouldn't go away. They went downstairs to tell their parents and they told me, let them pet the cat. It's not even yours and it's just a cat. I tried reasoning with them and even my aunt and uncle sided with me, but they still wouldn't understand it. They swore it was just a regular house cat. I walked back up the stairs and suddenly I got a huge grin on my face. I told the kids that they can go play with the cat and they started laughing at me and taunting me. But soon the tables would turn. They went inside the room and I camped outside the door. For about 5 seconds I could just hear the "wow" from one of the kids. Then it finally came. An ear-piercing hiss and loud meow followed by a distant sound of clothes stretching and gremlins screaming. They both sprinted out of the room crying and the Mini Bigfoot had a big scratch going down his right arm. Little Yeti had it worse as her nice pink t-shirt was absolutely ripped and there were more scars going down her arm. Their parents were furious at me and commanded me downstairs to scold me. They asked how could I let that cat scratch their children like that and not do anything about it. I was gonna say something, but then my dad's face went white as he pointed at the stairs. We looked and guess what we saw? At the top of the stairs Tara was right there with her tail hunched back and her ears folded flat against her head. To add that, the lights upstairs were off so her eyes were glowing. The dad of the two kids thought it'd be a good to punish a cat that wasn't his, so he marched up the stairs while staring down Tara. Bad move because Tara then leapt off the stairs and landed right on the dude's back and cut a huge gash in his shirt in the process. She then climbed off, then just went back up the stairs and slept again like she didn't just almost murder a whole family. When my cousin got back we told her about the story and she was mad. At first she started to laugh when we mentioned her cat wasn't injured. Tara got a nice plate of tuna for dinner and a good back rub as a reward. Great. In Dutch we have a saying that goes, "Wie niet horen wilt, moe maar voelen," which translate to something as, "Who doesn't want to listen, needs to feel it." I'm sure they won't ever approach an animal that way again. Also parents WTF? Forgot to mention, Tara's still alive and kicking with my cousin. She's way different than she was years ago, as Tara's takes the time to warm up to strangers and doesn't just go full Bengal tiger mode on new people. She's way more lazier as well. But one thing will always stay with that cat. And that's you do not disturb her when she's sleeping. You will catch those paws if you wake her up. Gotta love when guests tell the hosts how to run their own house. Arrogance and stupidity all wrapped up in one convenient package. And then for those same guests to assume that it was their place as invaders. To punish the cat for defending its own space that they really had no right to enter in the first place. Just another case of trash humans receiving what trash humans deserve. We had a cute little Papillion dog that everyone wanted to pet. 6 pounds of cute. She would turn into a rabid Wolverine in a half second if you petted her the wrong way. People would ask if they could pet my dog and I would tell them no. Of course they would always get pissy and tell me they were not going to hurt my dog. I told them I wasn't worried about the dog. I was concerned about the dog hurting them. I had to explain she wasn't very sociable and would probably bite them. Once in a while I would hold her and let people pet her. But if I wasn't holding her she could get mean. We figured out she had been terrorized by children of the previous owner. Nothing we could prove, but it came out in the way she liked to be approached and handled. Also we took her to the same vet. They recognized her when we brought her in. And they said the previous owner said she was vicious. She even bit my neighbor. But he deserved it as he was teasing her. He was surprised as he pulled his hand away and he was bleeding. It was funny as she liked him and she would wander over to his yard for attention. She really was a good dog. We as a family never had any issues with her. But any stranger and we had to watch her. We tried to socialize her and get her around people more. But it didn't help. She was just a mean little thing. On the other hand, I would come home after work and lay down on the couch and she would lick my head and cuddle with me. She had her ring of friends she trusted. We had her for 16 years and she was the sweetest little pup to us. I think she just grew to trust us as we didn't tease and mess with her like the previous owner. This reminds me of something I came across called living by cat principles. The last one being, if you are touched without your permission, say so. If they continue to touch you, make them bleed. They don't know any better. Lady, you're gonna teach them right now or I will, and I am not a pushover. I will sit on your spawn if I have to. Quote. Well, stupidity gets punished. Was the dad actually humbled after that last fight? Did he get the point of the whole MC exercise? I knew a cat who was quite affectionate, but after being petted for a while would get a crazy look in his eyes and chomp down on your hand. If a stranger was petting him, the owners would warn them. But sometimes people would just say, but he's purring OW. Quote, the cat's name was Bitey. For God's sake. Welcome to Consent 101. Lesson 1. The cat. Me. As I encounter anyone with a pet. Hey, how is your dog, cat, squid, rhinoceros, okapi's temperament? Them. They are safe. You may pet if you like. Less than I pet and inform said creature they are good. Them. They don't like strangers. Me. Fair enough. Beautiful creature. Less than exit situation without approaching said creature. I want to give Tara a medal. From very far away. I love it when we see the great philosophy, fuck around and find out, at work. What a good kitty. That cat would be a better parent to those kids. People who don't understand cats blame the behavior on them. But it's the fault of the person if a cat misbehaves. Cats are generally predictable. You just have to understand and respect them. Jackson Galaxy does an amazing job showing how to better understand cats. I learned so much before getting one, and it really paid off to be able to avoid certain mistakes. They asked how could I let that cat scratch their children like that. Well, I wasn't going to let her scratch them. But you told me I had to. Slept again like she didn't almost just murder a whole family. I'm dying. Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing. Where is the cat tax? Question mark. Lol. Had a cat just like that. He was the one kitten we kept from a small litter of a pregnant cat we had adopted. He was absolutely beautiful. A long-haired calico. But mean as F. One day my son was there and both me and my daughter warned him to be careful touching Rogan. How mean he could get. My son brushed it off and went to pick the cat up. He didn't usually like to be held. What followed was a stream of obscenities from my son. And me and my daughter laughing. Well, we tried to warn him. They asked how could I let that cat scratch their children like that and not do anything about it. Like you had some sort of hidden superpower to prevent the cat from going after them? These are the worst kind of people. Always acting like they can do whatever the hell they want whenever they want. And then when they are warned something is a bad idea, their entitled asses do it anyway. And then blame the consequences on others. Seriously. Screw people like that. Their kids are just going to grow up to be entitled asses that blame all of their problems on everybody else.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.